Let's talk about something that just dropped this past week. Let's talk Star Wars, which this is another thing that fans get up their own ass about. But we just got news, and I'll read directly here from an article from Esquire. Earlier this week, Disney and Lucasfilms film announced a slew of upcoming novels and comic books set around an ancient time period in the galaxy far, far away, known as the High Republic. The announcement, which did not include any news about upcoming film or TV shows, describes a wave of forthcoming media that will take place in an era when the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Order are in their zenith, about 200 years before the events of the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. This is interesting because, I feel like with Star Wars, unlike most other franchises or most other properties, they seem to go backwards more than they do forwards in time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it always seems like instead of pushing the story forward into like, okay, let's get some new shit in here, it's like let's jump back 3,000 years. It almost has like kind of like a Game of Thrones, and I guess because it has such a rich sort of like fanfare around it, where there's been like a lot of like fan fiction, and there's been a lot of like other storylines and other sort of things that kind of dive into the mythos of the Jedi and the Sith and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But it feels like we spent a lot of time going backwards.
Yeah. And Star Wars has that luxury in being so set so far in the future. To go back 300 years or 200 years, right?
Yeah.
You're still within like this futuristic, high-tech sci-fi realm, which is still going to be really interesting. Much like what we talked about with Transformers, right? We knew Cybertron fell, but we don't know why. So the upcoming war on Cybertron film is going to tell us a little bit of backstory as to like how the war started. Mm-hmm. This Star Wars film, the High Republic, is going to tell us a bit more. We've seen the Jedi Order, battling the was it the First Order? What were they before the First Order?
The Galactic Empire.
The Galactic Empire, right? And then we've seen them go through that. Right.
Somebody's gonna jump in the comments.
Somebody's gonna be like,
you fucking idiots!
Motherfuckers!
I will unsubscribe.
So like we've seen the battle between the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic or whatever. Yeah. We've seen the Jedi Order we've seen the Jedi almost fall to the First Order, right? And then in this most recent movie, we see Emperor Palpatine fall to Rey, and now kind of like restores hope in the Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. This is going back to show like, hey, this tell the story about a time when the Jedis were the guardians of I wanted to say Guardians of the Galaxy, but like when the Jedi Order, like when there was a peaceful time, the Jedi were overseeing and watching over the galaxy, and what was happening then when like it was like the First Order and the dark side, when they were like working beneath the scenes and building. Like, what does that story look like and sound like?
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting.
No, I definitely think it's interesting, and I don't know. Like, it jumped off the page to me that like, we feel like we always go back. I'm not speaking to like whether they're good stories or not, but it feels like we're always going backwards with the Star Wars franchise. But I think that this is going to be interesting. I am curious to see what kind of films and TV shows that they come that. Are they going to be tied into this era? Is this going to be like a new sort of thing that they're going to start, that everything sort of ties into to each other? I kind of doubt it a little bit. I think they're kind of wanting to go in just whatever direction they want to go with any Star Wars project that they work on, especially when you talk about the films and shows. And plus, that's also really hard to coordinate together. It's different when you have like somebody like who's Kevin Feige with Marvel, right? Who's kind of like the architect of it all and can kind of navigate everything. And now Kevin Feige is I think he's overseeing all of Marvel's operations, both from the comic book level as well as the MCU.
Yeah, it's all under his umbrella now.
Yeah, so I think you have to pull somebody in like that who can tie everything together. If you don't, then it's better to kind of just leave everything separate and kind of let them operate on their own. We all saw kind of how everything kind of fell apart with DC when they try to build sort of the DC universe.
Yeah, when they were trying to tell, like, DC was trying to tell a cohesive story led by multiple people, and it's hard to do that.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. And so you have to have not only just a person, you have to have the right person to be able to sort of tie all that together. But I'm looking forward to see what they come up with the High Republic. One of my favorite video games of all time, if not, it might be rivaling as my favorite video game of all time, was Knights of the Old Republic.
I don't recall ever playing any Star Wars game. Was it better than like GoldenEye?
That's hard because GoldenEye is a fucking it's
Right?
It's GoldenEye. Like I don't know
that video game back in the day. Well, that was the
that shit was the shit.
You had the golden gun.
Yeah,
bang.
I don't know if it's better than GoldenEye, but again, I don't know if anything's fucking better than both. But it's up there. I just remember the story was immersive, and it came out with two games, Knights of the Old Republic, the first one, and then Knights of the Old Republic 2. I think it was called the something with the Sith, something about Sith. But they were fucking excellent. I've always wanted like them to come out with like a movie for that, and I think for years it's been rumored that they are going to come out with something for Knights of the Old Republic. But yeah, it would be dope if they come up with some shit for that. But again, that would be going backwards because I think that takes place way before the whole. Skywalker.
I'm not gonna keep going back.
Yeah, but again, it kind of rivals Game of Thrones a little bit. Where Game of Thrones, there's like a lot of like rich history there that's sort of that's been made.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stories that we get after the thing that we watch,
you want to know where,
yeah.
Like, when did this start? Like, where did these things come from?
Yeah.
Who are the people who like influence these decisions in the beginning?
Yeah. All right, let's move on here.
Yeah, so